The Germans believed this tank was finished, dead, no threat. They were wrong, because what happened next shattered an entire Panzer division. Late 1944, Germany launched one of its most powerful counterattacks of the entire war. On the Western Front, American armored columns found themselves retreating, outnumbered and outgunned by the superior German tanks. Through the fog and smoke of battle, the ominous silhouettes of Panthers and Panzer IVs were closing in. It seemed like the American line was about to break. But 1M for Sherman, already damaged and thought to be out of the fight, was about to make history. During the chaotic retreat, a direct hit from German artillery slammed into the tank. The steel groaned, and the impact was deafening. Inside, the crew was thrown around as the track snapped, completely immobilizing them. Smoke filled the turret, and the men coughed, shocked but alive. Through the intercom, the driver's voice crackled with urgency. "We're hit. Tracks. Gone. She's not moving." The tank was a sitting duck. In those frantic seconds, the crew faced a grim choice: bail out and run for their lives, or make a final, desperate stand. The tank commander peered through his periscope, his heart pounding. The German panzers were getting closer, emerging from the smoke like steel predators. Inside the crippled Sherman, the air was thick with tension. He saw the fear in his crew's eyes, but he also saw something else: defiance. With a steady voice that cut through the chaos, he made the call. "We're not leaving, load AP. Let's make them regret coming." In the middle of a battlefield, trapped and exposed, the 5-man crew chose to fight. The gunner, hands trembling slightly, rammed a 75mm armor-piercing shell into the breach. The Germans, confident that the immobilized Sherman was nothing more than a smoldering wreck, continued their advance without caution. They never expected what happened next. The Sherman's main gun roared to life, a massive flash of fire erupting from the muzzle. The shell screamed across the field and struck the lead Panzer IV with incredible force. The German tank, caught completely by surprise, went up in flames in a matter of seconds. Inside the other German tanks, crews watched in disbelief as their comrade's vehicle was engulfed in a fireball. A wave of confusion and panic rippled through the German armored column. Their commanders were shouting orders, their voices filled with shock. "That tank isn't dead. Fire, fire." The panzers hesitated. If the tank they thought was destroyed was still fighting, who else was out there? Was it an ambush? The smoke covering the field became their enemy, hiding the true number of American defenders. In that moment of uncertainty, the Sherman's gun fired again, its shell finding another target. The psychological impact was devastating. The German advance stalled. It became a brutal, standstill duel. The lone Sherman, unable to move, absorbed hit after hit. The sound of ricochets bouncing off its armor was a constant, terrifying reminder of how thin their protection was. Inside, the gunner was sweating, his muscles aching as he loaded shell after shell as fast as he could. The commander called out targets, his eyes glued to the periscope. With each shot, the Sherman crew knew they were seconds from death. But incredibly, every shell they fired found its mark. Another German tank, a formidable Panther, was hit and burst into flames, its ammunition cooking off in a spectacular explosion. Then, the impossible happened. Faced with such fierce and unexpected resistance from a single, supposedly neutralized tank, the German commanders made a decision. The risk was too high. The lead panzers began to reverse, their tracks churning up mud as they pulled back into the smoke. the American Sherman fired its last remaining shells, harassing them as they retreated. An entire elite Panzer division, poised to break the American line, was stopped in its tracks and forced to withdraw by one crippled tank. As the smoke began to settle, the battlefield grew quiet. The Sherman was a wreck, its hull scorched, and fires burning from multiple hits. The exhausted crew, shaken but miraculously alive, crawled out of the smoking machine. In the distance, they could see the last of the German tanks disappearing over the horizon. The tank was barely standing, but it had done its job. The German assault on their section of the front was completely broken. One immobilized tank, 5 men who refused to give up, and a Panzer division that never expected such fierce resistance from a broken Sherman. Their incredible stand became a testament to courage under fire. A legendary moment when the will to fight proved stronger than steel. Thank you for watching. If you were inspired by this story of bravery, make sure to like and subscribe for more.